wasn't going to shoot this video for YouTube. Finally had a nice day here in the middle of January. I say the middle of January, late January. To get out and mess with this thing for a little bit. Kind of had cabin fever for the last month. Ask my wife, I've been pretty crabby. Anyways, so I'd gotten a new brake rod because I had lost mine. Finally had a chance to install it today. And obviously I thought I had documented at some point where I had freed up the brake pivot shaft. And so now I have a park brake again, or emergency brake, whatever they called it. Truth be told, I've kind of fought the carburetor some on this for a while. I could never get her to run off of her idle jet, and I thought I had the carb adjusted right. She was always wanting to pull some off of her load jet instead of running just off her idle jet at idle. And I don't know what I did today. I just got to monkeying with the carburetor, and I finally just closed off the load jet and finally tuned the idle jet, and she's running on her own idle jet again. I say again, it's not run off of it since I've owned it. So it's running off its idle jet now. I'd be curious to see how it does with the load behind it. I got the oil bath air cleaner. It was hooked in, but everything wasn't fitting properly to the carburetor, and I was really afraid I was going to break an ear off the carburetor, so I took the hood and the gas tank and all that off, and I got everything to fit properly, readjusted some things. So now the oil bath air cleaner's bolted in properly, it's fitting properly. I just put in well water in it. It's about 50 degrees today. I was pretty tickled. I've got another set of wheels to go on the front of this. I never made a video on this due to his own privacy, but my buddy, who I used to keep this thing at his old house, they had a shop fire just like a month or two after they moved in, and his 34D, which he was in the middle of fixing again, was involved in that. But he's letting me borrow his front steel wheels since the old rubber tires on mine were no good. And we done some horse trading, and I've got a set of steel wheels now just like these without the skid bands on them. I just have to get a new bearing set for one of them and put them on. That's the original Magneto. I made a video about that one time. I got the clutch cover put back on. Got studs courtesy of Rich Brown. I could listen to this thing all day. This curtain in here, I don't know if I ever mentioned that. That came from Detweiler's, from Pat Detweiler and his father. And I actually have a new grill screen to put on it, because this one's a little beat up. But I haven't put it on because I don't want it to get rusty. So it's in the shed. Has developed a bit of an exhaust leak, which kind of stinks because I had that manifold deck and I put copper coat on that gasket before I put the manifold on, and it's still leaking. But as long as the intake don't leak, that's my biggest fear. Her brake pedals up. Like I said, springs on. Oh, I've lost my train of thought here. I'm sorry. Anyways, I've got the correct throttle handle. It's these D's had a longer throttle handle on them, and I've got the correct one. And I just need to get a new spring, because that one down there is all busted, and it barely holds the proper tension on the handle. I'm gonna get that new handle put on, and then I'm gonna put the fenders on, because you kind of need the fenders loose, because you got to kind of loosen this and pull it out in order to get this off. But that'll get done. The fenders are gonna go back on, and assuming she's still running good, I'm gonna leave it. Leave it like it is. And truth be told, another friend of mine is thinking about picking up another 1927 D. If you can even hear me talk, this thing's noisy, even with a muffler. Yeah, another friend of mine is buying another 2070, and he's offered it to me, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to buy it. And this one, as I've mentioned, one of these days, if my son or my kids or whoever gets interested in this stuff, this is going to eventually be theirs. And I want an older D, which is why I want to buy that 27 off of my buddy Patrick. And it's not a what they call a keyed crankshaft 27. It is just a normal spline 27, but the air cleaner on it is the kind that it doesn't come up the side a little bit like most of them do. It actually has like an air canister that sits to the side, and everything's tucked up underneath the hood, and it's got a real, it's real clean looking. And I've wanted one after seeing another friend of mine's. I think it was a 30 or a 31. I think it was a 30. So between me and my friends, we've got quite a bit of D's running around. But they're a fun machine to play with. So, like I said, I wasn't anticipating this going on YouTube. I figured, why not? I could listen to that all day. Alright guys, thanks for watching my boring videos. Like I said, I don't do anything with these other than make them for me and my kiddos when they're older, if they want to go back and look at what Dad did growing up, and that's why I do it. So, take care all, and I'll see you later.